the past maybe 10 years has seen a boom in Pentecostalism, and it's not just in Nigeria, because it's one of the things that we've exported. I mean, if you go to Antwerp, there are lots of Nigerian churches promising miracles and all of that, and in Nigeria as well. I mean, a few weeks ago there was a documentary on TV about this man who calls himself Dr. Fireman, who claims to work miracles and claims to raise the dead. And so the new celebrities, the new stars in Nigeria are Pentecostal pastors, who make lots and lots of money. Oyedepo has 3 private jets. He's got a university. He's got, secondary schools. And I think it's. I mean, I think it is a huge pity when people abuse other people's trusts and desperation, and to further their own, basically their own selfish aims. Which is basically to make as much money as possible. I don't know what you need 3 private jets for, or what So. I don't know if it's I think that would be a whole novel on its own, basically. It would be, if I were to decide to write on that, it would be like a whole book on its own.
What I appreciate about your 2 books I've read is your style.
Thank you.
Who was your inspiration?
Both. I don't know. I read lots of writers, and I don't know. I honestly.
Have you got favourite writers?
I've got favourite books. I've got favourite books rather than favourite writers. I've got books that I reread a lot.
Like?
Moral Disorder by Margaret Atwood is a collection of short stories. It's an amazing book. I mean, I read it every day, basically.
Really?
I love all of Alice Munro's books.
Yes.
I read a lot of Carol Phillips.
Carol Phillips, yes, also living in Britain.
So...
and rereading those books, does it also mean... making yourself familiar with the style in order to not to imitate, but to add something new, your personal?
I don't know. I think reading and rereading them. First of all, I do that because they give me so much pleasure and so much joy, and I read in the first instance to entertain myself. I read for the delight. And so these books delight me.
The delight of language, then, because
the delight, yeah, of course, definitely, yes.
You know the plot.
Yes, definitely, yes.
It's because of the language.
Yes, definitely.
How do you start a book?
Sit in front of the computer and type out the first.
Really?
Yes.
Really? So,
no, but
you've got a theme in
Yes, I think I've got a theme in my head, and then I start. Fata Morgana, for example, took me 3 years to write and 14 rewrites, and I was going, up and down. And Night Dancer, what I thought was going to be the first chapter, ended up only in part 2. It also took me 2.5 years to write. So I sort of just write and see where the story takes me.
Do you take notes?
Yes, I do. I do. Yeah, I have a notebook and I take lots of notes, and sometimes the stories sort of turn out differently from what I expected, but that is what I like about writing. I'm constantly surprised by what the characters, or where the characters decide to take the
So you're also one of the authors who let herself guide by the characters.
Yes, definitely, yes, because otherwise I'll get bored. I get bored very easily. So.
Yeah, I understand. Final question, your publishers, are they first British or English publishers or Dutch publishers?
I have a very intimate relationship with my Dutch publishers. For several different reasons. I mean, the publishing industry here is a lot smaller, it's a lot more intimate, but also they were my very first publishers.
Supporters
yes,
as well.
That too, and the way publishing works in Belgium also means that you actually know your publisher. You can have a cup of coffee together. I have never met my American publishers, for example. I've exchanged lots of mails with my editor. In the UK, I think I met my publisher once, just like hi, and fortunately for me, I knew my editor well, so so it's very different industry.
Yeah, but the manuscript reaches your publishers here in English.
Yes,
and then they have to translate it and they have to talk about it.
Yeah, but we have I have a permanent translator. Yes, also because we worked together from the very first manuscript, and he knows where to approximate my style. So he doesn't do word full word translation. He does approximations sometimes, which is very nice. And I get to reread and I get to tell him, okay, no, this doesn't work or that works. And